We are starting to talk about questions in a different way now. Some tips for how to ask open-ended questions, how not to ask closed questions, and 2 power planning questions to set you off for any planning time you have coming up in the future. Remember, we're talking about how to keep the dialogue door open. And that means don't ask closed questions. So what are examples of closed questions? Very, very basic. Should you do that? Could you do this? Might you try this? And so on. Is this a good idea? They're all going to be answered with yes or no. So guess what? All of these questions are the to be verb. And there are different future tenses and different singular and plural tenses. But basically, you don't want to have any question if you want to have your dialogue door stay open. Start with are, is, does, can, will, could, do. Out of the picture. Close your mind to those words. You'll notice you continually change your open-ended questions to closed questions. So you're going to have to be very vigilant and actually keep a journal about what questions really help you get a very open, honest, authentic conversation. So which questions should you be using? Well, how about the 5 W's, actually 6 W's, what, when, where, which, who are the 5, and why, and I'll come back to why, and how, the 1 H. That's what you want to cover when you're doing open-ended questions. And we know that sometimes the why question can put people on defensive, so use that very sparingly. Not like, why did you do that? But like, tell me a little bit about why this is coming up for you right now. So ask it in a curious tone of voice. Finally, we'd like to leave you with 2 power planning questions. And notice that when we ask these questions open-endedly, you might have a different response and a more deep, reflective response than if we ask them in a closed way. So first of all, take a minute to write these questions down or pause the video and ask yourself, if you could only focus on 1 to 2 projects in the next year or so, what would they be? And then next, what specifically would be different if you were able to get a good start on them? So pause the video now and go away and notice your reaction when you try and answer them and what kind of answers come up for you. Okay, so now you're back and hopefully you've had a chance to do that exercise. If I ask the questions in a closed way, it would look like this. Do you have any projects that you'd like to get focused on in the next year? Well, you might answer yes, but then does it inspire any new rich thinking? And the second question would look a bit like this. Will it make a difference if you get a good start on them? Now, these are often used in marketing. These are marketing style questions, in that there's a different way. Marketing often will use closed questions. But if you really want good open dialogue, you will have people notice. So we'd like you to pause the video again if you'd like to do this as an exercise and try to answer the questions this way and see what the difference is for you. Test this out for yourself. Lastly, we'd like to end off with a lovely quote from Dorothy Strachan. The answer to a question should not be in the question. So we're going to leave you with a resource, Dorothy Strachan, Questions That Work. Have a great time thinking about the questions you ask and keep your dialogue door open.